Hey guys, what's up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review, and today we're taking a look at this completely fake knockoff NECA Batman figure from Michael Keaton's Batman film, just called Batman. It came out in 1989, and, well, not the figure, the movie came out in 1989. This figure, I'm not actually too sure when it was originally released by NECA, but a lot of these knockoffs have been floating around for years, and the legit versions I've actually never came across. I believe it was like a Toys R Us exclusive over in America. I've never seen any legit version pop up on eBay, and I've had my eye out for a while because Michael Keaton, I don't know if he's my favourite Batman, but the Batman Returns, the second Michael Keaton film, that is my favourite bat suit. I absolutely love the look of that bat suit. I've said that before in the channel when we took a closer look at this figure here. And yeah, I wanted a better Batman figure that represented Michael Keaton, and I think the best kind of 6-inch scale figure is from NECA, but as I said, the legit version is like gold dust, but this fake version has been floating around for years, and it was selling for quite a bit of money on eBay. You can buy them for over £25, which I definitely wasn't going to spend on a fake. So I went over to AliExpress and I bought the exact same fake knockoff. This was just under £15, so I'm happy with that. He's finally arrived, and of course we're going to take a closer look at him here on the channel. Before we do, guys, let me know down in the comment section below what your opinion of the Michael Keaton Batman films are, because I think they're great. I think they are a bit different, very Tim Burton-esque, and I love going back and watching them. They're not my favourite Batman films. I think Batman Begins is my favourite, but this is just, it's a bit different. It's something else. It's Batman, but not quite like we see him nowadays, and as I've said, I love the look of the costume. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. While you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and let's not wait any longer. Let's take a closer look at this fake NECA Batman figure. So yeah, as I mentioned, I came across this on eBay, but I wasn't going to spend the price that eBay was selling it for. I hopped over to AliExpress, exact same knockoff, same pictures and everything, got it for just under £15, and this is how it arrived. Well, it came in the box. There was an option to buy it with the box and without the box. Don't know what it would come like without it, if it'd just be wrapped up in bubble wrap or whatever, but the price difference really wasn't worth it, so I went for the box, and it is definitely cheap plastic. I mean, you can see it kind of hanging off, but I do like the idea of that extra protection when it's getting sent over from somewhere in Asia. This came from. I just cut the bottom open and got the figure out. I'll just bin the packaging after, but I still wanted to show this off in the video here, especially because there is this image on the back, and I'm sure this is probably pretty accurate to the original packaging. We get the Batman logo from the first movie, picture of the figure, and then this right up at the bottom. So if you want to read that, hit the pause button now. And yeah, that's about it for the fake box. Here is the fake figure, and I have to say, on first glance, I think this thing looks pretty good. If you just caught this thing standing on the shelf, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, you're not going to go, whoa, that's the knockoff. But there are some things that, you know, definitely just don't really look too great, and we'll get into them. First of all, these are the accessories that it comes with, and once again, I'm pleasantly surprised with these. I mean, the paint detail on them is ace. You've got this wee silver bit here. It's not going to fit on the figure anywhere. You could get it maybe holding in one of his hands, but it's not going to go on his belt buckle or anything, which is a shame. But it looks really good. The sculpt's there, gold paint on the end, all the wee silver dots. That's really surprising to me for a knockoff. You don't normally get all the paint detail in them, so really happy with that. You then get the Batarang, and kind of same deal. You still got the wee paint detail, the wee silver tips, which, to be honest, I don't really remember in the film. The second one, I remember there was the remote control Batarang. I don't know what this one is, if it's just a basic Batarang, if it had a special bit in the film. I'm always very cautious with fakes and like porting them on and off the figure, just because it's obviously going to be a cheaper plastic, and yeah, I can't really get holding that, but I think that's meant to be the idea, and I've lost the Batarang. No idea where that went, and no idea if I'll ever see it again. The other hand is this open one. Once again, nice detail sculpted in there. Looks really good, and I'm guessing it's gonna hold the gun. Please don't drop it this time. Okay, that's actually really good. That fits in really nicely. That's great, actually. That looks awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I like all the wee accessories, the interchangeable hands. And it's actually pretty sturdy. It's not falling out there at all. So, really can't complain with the accessories. Found it. Result, I genuinely didn't think I was finding that again. Let's take a closer look at the figure, and as I said, just, you know, first impressions, you know, seeing this at first glance, I think it actually looks pretty good. The cowl is there, like the sculpt of Keaton's cowl, that's it. I think it looks great. It definitely then stands out a bit where it's kind of sticking out here. The logo's a wee bit messy. Let's just take a closer look. Yeah, the head sculpt looks really good, or the cowl anyway. I thought the rubbery plastic, well, I thought this was plastic to be fair, but it's actually rubber. You can move it around, and you do kind of need to move it around. When I first got this out of box, I was kind of squishing it and moving it left and right, just trying to position it a lot better and find, you know, a good look to it. So I don't know, I'm glad that you can move it around, but I thought this was going to be hard sculpted plastic and you wouldn't really have to move it around. But yeah, it's a softer rubber and you can kind of move the bat ears pretty easily, but thankfully they're not warped or anything. They seem to be pretty sturdy, and I think the cowl looks good. It then the figures let down a wee bit. You can't notice it now, or maybe you can a wee bit, just the way the light hits it, but the black around the eyes kind of lacked here and there. You could definitely see a lot more of the flesh tone around the eyes, and it looked really odd. It looked pretty bad actually, and I went in with a Sharpie. Once again, as I said, moved the rubber around, tried to lift it up a wee bit, moved it down, squished it about, and just put more black on the flesh tones, put more black around the eyes, and it looks a lot better. I really don't see much of the flesh tone now, and I think it just looks that bit better than it did. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it's definitely something I'd recommend if you do pick this knockoff off. If you pick this knockoff up, yeah, I would go in and add some black to the flesh tones that stick out around the eyes, because I do think it looks better. The flesh tone in the cheeks looks really good, but then the lips, man. I think that could be one of the biggest downfalls about the figure, because it was easy enough to just add black around the eyes, but the lips are purple. He is suffering big time from some frostbite. Those lips just do not look good. And it sucks because I don't really just have a pen that's like a Sharpie that I can touch the lips up. I feel like I'd need to get some proper paint and paint them just a normal colour. I can't believe the purple. I can't believe they went with purple. Like, it looks so bad, and it is probably the biggest downfall of the figure. It's not something, I don't know. Now that I've pointed it out, it's really eye-catching, and it caught my eye straight away. But once again, if it was standing on your shelf, I don't know if you would immediately be like, why is his lip so purple? Maybe you would, I don't know. It's definitely a flaw. But moving on, we get the logo, and it's not bad. Once again, could probably just touch that wee black smudge up with some yellow, and it'd look pretty solid. It is flimsy, it's even more bendable than anything up here. It's that soft rubber, and it doesn't sit quite flush, doesn't sit quite right. You can move it around again and kind of play around with it, get it looking better, but it is a bit squinty. But the logo's there. I think it does look good overall. And then, as I said before, the cowl, the way it's kind of attached to the cape, sticks up a wee bit. Maybe should just glue that down and yeah, look a bit better. Back of the cowl looks really good. And then the cape, I have to say I'm really pleasantly surprised with the cape. I think the cape is really nice. It flows really nicely. The way it just kind of lies is really good. I've taken some pictures of this figure already from my Instagram. You can get it sticking out, and this thing looks great when it's sticking out. Of course, if he had some hands that would have held the cape up, it would look awesome. I did manage to kind of hold the cape up a wee bit with the hands, but that looks really nicely, looks really nice. I think that looks great, really accurate to the film. I'm just really stoked with the cape, if I'm being honest, and you can like put it in front of his arms, play around with it. It's a really nice cape for a fake figure. You then get this chest plate bit here, and once again it's a bit squinty, doesn't quite sit right, especially round the body. It's as if it's just been kind of glued on. Well, I mean, I think that's definitely the case, that they've just glued this chest plate on. I'm sure in the real version it would just look a lot more flush, like that kind of sticks out here, and it's annoying. It's not terrible, it looks, the actual plate itself looks good, but it doesn't look great the way it's just been stuck on there. I don't know, it kind of blends in when it's up against the cape, not too noticeable at first, but definitely another flaw with the figure. The utility belt sculpted really nicely. I think the yellow needs to be a wee bit stronger. It's very pale, but maybe that's just me, but overall good on the utility belt front. You get the arms, which once again pretty good. You get the nice sculpted hands, the gauntlets look really good, you get the wee 3 spiky bits. Nothing to really complain about in the arm area, and the same with the legs. You get this sort of I don't know what you'd call this, in the crotch area. It looks fine, the legs look fine. You then get these bits on the shins, the armoured bits, and wee bits in the ankle, which look good. I think it looks really nice. Don't really have any problem with the leg area. It all moves around fine. Just the biggest thing is at the top of the thigh here. Even trying to move it around, it just sticks out. It looks odd, and that's something I've noticed with like the Mayfix Spider-Man and things. Just the way the legs kind of line up doesn't work too well. And this one looks great. That one looks fine, but this right one is really hard to kind of get it looking flush, but it stands really well. The lower legs are really nicely armoured. I just think like overall, the way this figure is pieced together, the way it's literally like glued together, I wish it was more flush. I wish it stood, I mean it stands well, but I wish yeah, it's more flush. I wish it looked more seamless than it does, and unfortunately it's a knockoff, it's a fake. You're not really going to get that quality for the price. So I'm happy with this. I'm happy with what we're given for the price. I do wish it was the legit one, but what can I do at the moment? I do want to compare him to some other Batman figures, so let's get into that. So first up, we have 2 fake Keaton Batman figures. We have taken a closer look at this figure on the channel, but it was actually the legit version. I do have the real version of this figure here. This is like a Mattel, I can't remember the title they gave it, like a DC Universe Mattel 89 Batman figure. This one definitely looks more Batman Returns than 89 Batman. And I have to say, the quality of this NECA knockoff is so much better than this knockoff Mattel figure. I mean, this is just cheap and nasty in comparison. Like, this isn't aligned right. The cape is awful. It's not even like a proper black. Comparing the capes, this cape is so much better. I mean, it's not terrible. I did add the eyes in because this was just white before, so I added a couple black dots. I do think that looks a bit better. But yeah, this is definitely the better Keaton figure. This is definitely the better Keaton knockoff. And yeah, this is pretty rubbish in comparison, but I still like having that Keaton Batman in figure form. And then for another Keaton Batman comparison, we have the NECA knockoff next to another Mattel Batman figure, and I don't think this was specifically released as a Keaton Batman figure, But come on, that is a Keaton Batman figure, and I actually love this figure. It's old, it looks old, really bad articulation, but I think the sculpt is excellent. I think it looks cool as heck. And yeah, another Batman figure that I love to have here. Comparing them, it's hard to compare them. I'm not even going to compare them, but here is two pretty decent Keaton looking Batman figures in my opinion. For a NECA comparison, well, a not so NECA comparison, we have the NECA Donatello Ninja Turtle figure, and I think these two look really good next to one another. These are both, well, these are sort of both NECA movie figures, and they scale really well with one another. They both just look awesome. I would love to see this team up either happen on screen or in a comic, because I love both of these films and I love both the iteration of these characters, and NECA have smashed it, even though, once again, this isn't quite NECA. Let me know what you guys think of this figure down in the comment section below. It's a figure that I've thought about picking up for quite some time. I don't really like buying too many fakes or knockoffs. Of course, I want the real version, but when it comes to figures like this where it is pretty much impossible to get the real version, then I don't mind it as much. And I have to say, I'm pretty chuffed with this piece. I mean, it was £15 including shipping. It came in its fake wee box, came with the nice fake wee accessories, and it's not a bad figure at all, especially for the money. I mean, the sculpt's there, most of the paint's there. Yeah, it's got a few letdowns here and there, but if you're like me and you're really wanting to pick up a Keaton Batman in this scale and you can't get that real version, then yeah, I would recommend this fake. Let me know what you guys think down below. While you're down there, if you could do me a massive favour, guys, as always, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll leave the link to my Instagram in the description below, where I'll definitely be posting some vanilla poses of Keaton's Batman over there. It'd mean a lot if you could check that out, and feel free to hop on over to the channel page as well. There are plenty of other figure reviews, plenty of other Batman figure reviews over there. It'd mean a lot if you could check that out, and it means a lot to me that you've checked this video out right here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will catch you on the flip flop later. Cheers.